So stupid.
Greetings. Forgive me. I am not good with Paxeltech faces. Oh, it is new. I thought I had seen it before. So difficult to tell Paxeltech apart without hoof and horn. I am Sa Israk Thadwell. My Paxeltech name is Dwell. I sell wares crafted using refined crystals from my world. They make Paxeltech faster, stronger, more powerful. They help it defeat its enemies. And the prices are quite fair. Of course. Yes, that is always the question. I am Pan, from the world of Yesha, where the Eternal Empress reigns, the Doe and Ravager run free, and the balance breathes life to the jungle. Or so it used to be. Alas, it is not. Long and long have the Immortals oppressed the common Pan, wielding their power as if it were something they had earned or deserved. The Pan have rebelled against this tyranny, and for a time, it looks as if we could win. Then the pestilence came. What Paxeltech call the Root. When I last saw her, Yesha languished under the pestilence. The Ravager prowls, and the Doe is lost. Paxeltech, foreign to the Pan, meaningless. Perhaps on Paxeltech world, but it is at home on Dwell's tongue. Not Paxeltech name, perhaps, but it is my name whilst I live among Paxeltech tongues. Ah, the Paxeltech fort, the founder. On its last visit to Yesha, it said it was possible. I do not understand the complexities myself, but now I am here. Ah, Ford came to Yesha many times, aiding the rebels against the tyranny of immortals. His desire to protect was clear even then, as was his craft for violence, which he freely shared. Dwell did not learn Paxeltech Ford's violence, but shared in aiding the rebels with the same wares I offer here. Both aided rebellion, so both shared imprisonment. Oh, I languished for years, a cost I had never hoped to pay. But another Paxeltech, the one they say wanders the worlds, came to free the Ford. And the Ford freed Dwell, and many others. They are crafted using a special crystal, found only on Yesha. The Ahane, the priests of the Pan, forbid the crystal's use among commoners. But the Gal are craftier than Ahane know. Long and long have the Gal used the crystals for weapons, or even cruder things, like soups. But it takes an artisan like Dwell to bring out their full potential. They are crafted with refined crystals, and all crystals are special. A crystal is order, perfection from husk to heart. Some crystals split light. Others, like stones used to bring me here, can bridge worlds. The crystals I use carry power within them. Some Pan believe them to be divine, but this power is merely the interaction of the crystal's harmony, with the chaos of the world. As the Ahane have done for ages, I refine the crystal to magnify its harmony and focus its power. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. You must return soon.
Know you hear me. Get your ass over here. What, did you go deaf out there? Come and talk to me. God damn, it is you. The rumors had me thinking I might not ever see you again. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, they said you ran off with that old Ford fella and disappeared, and I ain't seen you since. Where have you been? You mean that big-ass floating gym over there? Bo said it can take you other places, other worlds even. Before we got here, I'd have laughed in his face. But I've heard weirder stories than that. And I can see on your face, it ain't all make-believe, is it? Feels like anything can be true here. They even healed my root rot. I tell you what, I might just start believing in fairy tales. Even Santa Claus and Fulton's Blend. Yeah, I don't know what's in that stuff Doc Nora gave me, but I ain't felt this good for years. Hell, maybe it was Fulton's Blend. The old ruins around here. Turns out there's still all kinds of useful crap if you know what you're looking for. And I do. I was just doing what I do to survive, you know. Maybe get some things together for when we moved on, but then you didn't come back. And Bo said folks around here could use this stuff, so I set up shop. So hey, if you ever need anything out there in the worlds or whatever, you just let me know. I got all kinds of stuff for trade. What you want to ask me? You know me. I don't settle so much as stop moving on for a while. Though, I like any place with a warm bed and decent food, but now that I think about it, there's something different about this place. I mean, besides weird shit like floating crystals and girls that shoot light out of their hands. The people here are... they're good. They help each other. I think most of them like each other. I ain't seen that in a long time. Maybe ever. I don't know if you've met them all yet, but do, eh? They're good folk. And I can tell you who does what if you want. I've been around here long enough for that, at least. I don't know. Why? You ready to move on or something? Oh, I get it. You just want to know if I've gone soft for this place, huh? I admit, I'm starting to take a shine to it. This is the first place in a long while that's felt anything like home. I mean, you know me. Comfort makes me skittish, but I don't know. It feels like it'd be hard to get too comfortable in a place with glowing portals and talking goats. Anyway, I just want to stick around and see what happens next, at least for now. We'll see. You'll want to talk to Reggie. He's got all kinds of cures and tonics. A fix to what ails you, he says. And while you're over there, see if you can figure out what's going on with that old Mudtooth. He's got some crazy stories, but I can't tell if any of them are true. His stew's pretty good too, once you get used to the smell. It'll keep you on your feet for days. Have you met Dwell yet? Not a human one, that's for sure. He calls himself a Pan from some place called Yesha. I tell you what, I don't understand half of what he's talking about. But the crystals he sells are like nothing I've ever seen. Might be just what you're looking for. Need something else? Don't be a stranger, okay?
That Donald. Always talking about getting out of here, sailing the sea. Yeah, you'll never catch me on a boat.
You sound so much like Brad sometimes.
Oh.
My Brad, he was such a good soul. Always saw the best in people. You ever climbed to the top of that tower in the city? It's so beautiful. You can see everything.
Do you want to go up there and show me?
I don't know. Brad was the one who knew the way.
Right. Brad. That's too bad.
How can old Reggie help you today? Where would you like to start? Old as teeth, friend. Old as teeth. Everything we know comes from Founder Ford. That title don't come from nowhere. He was there at the start. When the world ended, about 120 years ago, give or take a decade, Ford and some survivors took shelter in old Ward 13 over there. I don't know how many wards there were, but they were all part of something called the Dreamer Project that went bad. Real bad. There are rumors. Some say he made a deal with the Root, and that's why he's so hell-bent on stopping him. Some say he was experimented on in the Dreamer Project. Some say he found some kind of magic out there in the years when he was traveling the worlds. Truth is, nobody knows. Maybe not even Ford himself. Personally, I think Ford's just tough as dirt and refuses to die. The story's pretty long, friend. Let me know if you get tired of the telling. After the world fell, see, Founder Ford carried the whole burden of what happened on his shoulders. Tell the truth, I don't think he ever put that burden down. At first, nothing. He pressed on with the work of helping others survive. If you ask me, that was the best thing he could have done. It never should have stopped. Maybe he wouldn't have if Evelyn hadn't. See, Evelyn was his wife, and she was something special. She could hear the Root, see what they saw. At first, she thought she was going insane. But then she started using it, spying on the dead wood. And she saw something coming. Something big. She saw a monster, something the ward, the whole city couldn't handle. And only one way out. She communed with the Root, I guess you'd call it. Melded her mind to theirs and drove the monster off. But the Root swallowed her, body and mind, until there was nothing left of Evelyn Ford. Her husband lost it then. He left the ward for months, sometimes years at a time, wandering the worlds trying to find something, anything that could stop the Root. And one day, he just didn't come back. Well, now, my story's not through yet. The Fords, they had a daughter, Nadine. She was maybe 17 when her mother disappeared. Too young to run the ward, but when her pa was gone, folks would ask her their questions instead. Then one day, she was just in charge of everything. Nadine had her own daughter, Ellen, who really made us who we are today. Commander Ellen Ford inherited her mother's pragmatism, her grandfather's doggedness, and grandmother's willingness to make hard choices. So whenever someone showed up, dehydrated, starving, half mad from loss, she took them in, taught them a trade in medicine and supplies, gave them a family. So you were paying attention. I owe a lot to Ellen Ford. We all do. And I miss her something fierce, let me tell you. Ford and Clementine are the only ones who really know. And they don't like to talk about it. But old Reggie's got a gift for collecting stories. And I've gleaned a few things. At the wards, see, they connected people to machines that made them dream about other worlds. But these worlds were real, and the dreamers were seeing through the eyes of someone that lived there. Sounds like a bridge too far, don't it? It did for me, too. At least until I met Clementine. She was one of the dreamers, if you can believe it. The only one still alive, as far as I can tell. She says she got sucked out somehow, dragged into her dream world before the root came to Earth. I don't understand it much. I reckon she don't either. But she found herself in a place called Reesum, a world covered in snow and inhabited by giant intelligent rats. Don't know how she survived, but I imagine it has to do with those powers of hers. Hey, that's the story I still haven't gotten out of her. Sure is. But power like that don't come without a cost. I can only imagine what it must take out of her to control a power like that. She was a force, that woman. Founder Ford came back once. Did I mention that? Almost 60 years ago, right after his daughter Ellen's mother passed away. Ellen couldn't have been more than 18 at the time. But she told him the war didn't need him. Didn't have room for some legend who was just as likely to leave as to lead. I reckon Founder Ford saw the wisdom of that, because a while later, he left again and didn't return for a long time. When he finally did, he wasn't leading us no more. He was content to leave the ward in better hands, Ellen's hands. Oh, about 20-odd years ago, we had almost nothing left. Trapped in Ward 13 with nowhere to go and the route getting worse all around us. Then this stranger wanders in out of the storm, makes friends, picks up some gear, and damned if they don't take the fight to the route. I still don't know if that wanderer was crazy or brave or both, but they did it. They beat the route, and things got better day by day. Once it seemed safe to live outside again, Commander Ford made plans to build this town here. Well, she fell sick some time ago. Most of us have lost folks without any chance to say goodbye. But we got that with Ellen. Why, she even made things right with her grandfather before the end, or so I hear. The two of them together put Bo in charge of the ward. No one was more surprised about that than Bo. But you know what? He's the right man for the job. Ain't no one loves the ward, loves these people more than the kid who was raised by him. He's gonna do all right. The Wanderer was on a mission from the start. Said something about getting to the tower on the old atoll out there. Sounded crazy the first time I heard it. But turns out, that tower was one of the old wards. The Wanderer's path wasn't easy, though. Our Wanderer had to track down Founder Ford just to find a way in. And that meant following his trail. Just you wait. I'm getting to that. Well, Ford had seemed to have gotten himself mixed up in another world's affairs, helping a rebellion out here. And he was imprisoned for it. Now, no one here knew that, but the Root Mother knew. And that's who our Wanderer left to see. The Root Mother's got a story all her own, and I don't know half of it. Before she was the Root Mother, she was Evelyn Ford. That's right. The Founder's wife. Bound herself to the Root, she did, and it changed her. turned her into something else. But when the Wanderer showed up, she pulled herself out. The Root Mother, or whatever she called herself after that, sent our Wanderer down a trail of sorrow, at the end of which was the Founder himself. The Wanderer freed him, and used his knowledge to get into the tower, and destroy the last Dreamer. Or what we thought was the last Dreamer anyway. It did weaken the Root for a time, but I guess that weren't the whole story. So, the Dreamer was dead. The storm subsided. But the Root, they were still around. Then Founder Ford tells us about the oldest war, the first one, where the Dreamer Project began. He hoped there might be some clue there as to why the Deadwood was still coming to our world. So our Wanderer goes a-hunting. They found more than even old Ford bargained for. You ain't wrong. Place was full of doors, and I'm not talking about the quiet humankind. One of these doors led to the world of Riesum, where the Wanderer found Clementine. Clementine opened a door what nobody else could have opened. And inside? I hate to admit it, but I don't know what they found inside. All I know is the Root stopped coming when the Wanderer and Clementine were through. They'd done it. Saved the whole damn world. Just making sense of things. Stories make us who we are. If we don't share them, don't learn from them, we're just bouncing around in the dark. Well, all right then. Take care, traveler.
Wait, you're saying I need more salt?
I'm saying you need literally any flavor. Get it where you can.
Clementine! Ford? Shit! Where are you guys? This is all insane. Both the Crystal and Ford. Better get moving if I'm gonna find Clementine. This looks important. What is this place?
Impossible. Where did you come from? How did you find Nerud? You should not even exist. Your presence creates new, interesting possibilities. I have many questions. Find my tower within the wastes beyond. Look for a glowing white orb held aloft to the heavens. There, you will find me. We must speak. Look for the glowing white orb.
All right, let's do this.
The multiplayer rest also respawns when we fall. Definitely yes.
Shit! Great. More bad news. I'm in trouble. That's it. For now.